ongoing.
I went into the toilet to get changed, and as usual, the humanness come over him, and I went, "What am I doing here? I should be at home watching football. I shouldn't be here. And I'm out of my depth." And I prayed about it. I said, "Mother," I said, "just let this go well." I said, "What am I going to say to these priests and to a bishop that know far more than I do?" And the words that came back were incredible. She said, "The bishop prays to me." She said, "But you talk to me." And that was the difference. I thought, I talk to her as if I'm talking to you. Things that happen, I go, "Mother, what do you think of that?" I just talk to her as if it's normal. And a lot of the time, obviously, I don't need a reply, but when I do, I get it. And I've got a lot of people. Nori, as he told you, came into my room and he said, "This guy talks to statues and talks to pictures." But because that's the only way. You know, when I get non-Catholics saying it, they say, "But you worship statues." I said, "We don't worship statues." I said, "Do you carry a picture of your mother in your wallet?" "Oh yes." I said, "Well, this is the same thing. It's a figure of Our Lady." I said, that's the same thing. I said, "We're not worshipping Our Lady." I said, "We ask Our Lady to intercede to God the Father." You know.
And what would you tell people like who are fearful about confession?
Well, it was a thing that I wasn't keen of because I was a lad. I ended up in approved schools, nearly ended up in Borstal because I was brought up with just one single parent. I had no mother. So we were a little bit naughty, if you like. We got into a lot of trouble with the police and such like. So when the priest said to me about my first confession, I thought, "Oh my God, I'll be in there for a week if I tell him all the things I've done." And he said, "Don't worry," he says, "I'll help you through it." And I sat outside and I prayed about it, and I thought, well, all I can do is just open my heart to him, tell him the things that are really troubling me, and I'll say, and any other things that I may have forgotten. And I went to my first confession and it was brilliant. But it worried me because I thought, I've got to go in there and tell this man about my past, so he's going to know what kind of guy I am. But it's nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. Just go in with an open heart. The priest is there. He's not there to judge you. He's there to absolve you. So that's what to do. Just go in and just tell him. It doesn't matter. Most of the times he's heard it all before. And our priest often say, "Give me something decent to listen to." He said, "Don't come away with it. Oh, I missed Mass and I did it." He said, "I want something juicy." He said, "Give me something that I can really absolve you from." And they do. You know, that's it. It was a very daunting thing to go to my first confession, but I did it. You know, and the priest was wonderful. He was wonderful. You shouldn't worry about anything. Just go. He's not there to judge you. He's there to absolve you, and that's it. And he can't pass on anything that you've told him to anybody. You know, it's a great institution. It really is. And I'm lucky. Most of the priests in my diocese, I know all of them personally. The bishops I've known personally. The bishop's brother was my spiritual director here for 12 years. So I've been in the company of bishops and priests, and you can't do that without getting some feedback off them. You know, it's amazing. When I came here, I went down to that church. I had to go and see one of my priests. I was doing the readings, and I went down into the sacristy, and I thought I was a priest. He gave me an alb. And I said, "Oh, I'm not that holy. Not yet, not yet."
And how do you talk about priest and marriage life, and how do you tell young people, how do they discern their vocation?
It's very difficult with youngsters. I mean, my son doesn't go to Mass, and he's been here many times. But I leave him in Our Lady's hands. I say, "Look, Mother, you know the future more than I do." And I just pray for him, that's all, because it's a daunting thing for youngsters as well. It's boring, but it's not boring. I'd never been abroad until I came on pilgrimage, and now I've been 76 times to Medjugorje. I've been 14 times to Walsingham, the shrine in England. I've been to Knock twice. I've been to Lourdes twice. I've been all over.
It's an adventure,
you know. Oh, and I've been to Amsterdam with Our Lady of All Nations. You know, Our Lady takes you all over. You know, before that I never went anywhere. You know, it's just the faith is amazing. You know, people think it's boring. It's fabulous. It opens up a whole new world to you, a whole lot of new friends and a lot of new experiences. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Wow.
So the kids, my grandson, he stopped going for a little while, and I said to my daughter Julie, I said, look, don't worry, I'm going to pray for him every single day. And I did, and now he won't miss Mass. He's passed his test, and he even takes his sister to Mass in the car. And he won't miss Mass. He will not. You'd even walk it, he won't miss Mass. The power of prayer, the power of prayer. He's a lovely boy, lovely boy. And my granddaughters are the same. They're in that age now where the world's pulling them this way, and they're getting further and further away from the church, but we'll get them back.
By the power of prayer.
Power of prayer, we'll get them back.
I
Get them
think
back,
this is very
Tom.
important for parents,
Absolutely,
no?
absolutely. Prayer doesn't need to be long and drawn out. I mean, the Lord says, don't go to your room and pray, but don't be like the hypocrites and go these big long prayers. Just say a simple prayer. I do sometimes. I just say a simple prayer. Just say, Mother, be with us this day, or Mother, help me through this, or whatever. And she does.
Heartfelt, as Our Lady says.
It happens. That's it. She's. Our Lady always said, with the people in the early days, the people that came here. I mean, they came here. She said, people come to visit me. They go to Mass. They go to confession. They follow the program. They do the fasting. They go home, and within a couple of weeks, it's all forgotten. They fall back into the ways of the world. And that was her biggest. That was her biggest gripe when years ago that people come here and just didn't hold on to what they'd received here, you know, and it is hard. It is hard going back. You're like the disciples. I mean, people shun you and keep you're nuts. I was in a darts team. I played darts and I played pool. I came here, went back, never said nothing to any of, because I knew I don't even know if there was any Catholics in the team, so I never spoke. And I found out that if they were telling rude jokes and I walked in, they would stop. You know, and I was just strange. And then if they were swearing, they go, sorry. And I said, I've not said nothing. Why are they doing this? But they see something's changed in you, you know, and that's the way they were. Then they started calling me Mr. Medjugorje. Where did you go? Where was that place you went? I went, Medjugorje, Mr. Medjugorje. And that's what they started calling me. But they've seen a change in me, you know. And some of them that were non-Catholics said, what's that place like? I said, it's like Lourdes. I said, but it's more updated. I'll say, ladies over there now. And they were all interested. You know, I even went to get my car MOT. Now into the garage, just come back from here, full of the Spirit, I had the rosary beads and the little books on how to pray the rosary. I said, how many Catholics in here? They said, 2. I said, where are they? That mechanic over there and the girl in the office. So I went up to him and I went, here, get back to the rosary. I went into the office and I said, here, Angela, get back to the rosary. Give him the rosary beads and give him the little booklet. I went back in a couple of weeks later for something else. She came up to me and she went, thank you.
I tell you why, because you're really Mr. Medjugorje.
Yeah,
You are fulfilling what Our Lady wants.
Yeah, they seen something and they embraced it. They took the beads and they took the booklet on how to pray the rosary.
Wow.
You know, it's brilliant. It's just, you just got to be bold. You've got to be brave and got to be bold and just do what Our Lady asks, and she won't leave you. She won't leave your side. She'll be with you constantly. It's amazing.
Thank you for
Amazing.
this beautiful
No
interview.
problem, Tom. It's a pleasure.